What's going on, you guys? I want to talk about a specific vehicle today. It's the Toyota JDM. I got contacted about a year and a half ago by somebody, I can't remember who it was, and they were asking me. I sent a couple of emails back and forth. They're trying to get a scan tool to work with their Toyota JDM. This is like the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. I don't know what the years are, but this particular car right here has some specific settings in it that really make it difficult for anybody to seemingly I never tried, but for anybody to connect their OBD2 scan tool, whatever, to the damn thing. Now, obviously, some people have had some success, but now I've seen some information out there on how to connect, and it's all been a bunch of commands into the ELM327. Some of the most these seem to be the basic commands. Some of the contention here is this set header, this 6-digit value right here. I've seen other people put an 82 in there, so I'm not sure. So that's something you can play with. But basically, what I've done is I've incorporated all of these settings into my app. Okay, so if you have a Toyota JDM, I'd be really interested in if this at all carries you at all. All right, now over here, out of view, I have a simulator, and what the beeps you hear, I'm setting it to the particular protocol. So now the JDM operates on a different protocol. Let's just take a look at the protocols and the settings just to see. Now, normally you leave it on auto, and in this case, I'm saying you leave it on auto as well. But this ISO 14230 KWP, that is, I believe that's the protocol that the car operates off. Okay, but for this case, you leave it in auto because it should automatically detect the protocol. And what we have is we have these 3 additional settings here that really don't affect anything except this protocol. Well, the protocol is similar to it. It actually affects 3 protocols. Now, basically, from OBD wake up all the way up to the top, these are directly going to translate into some settings like header. The header is automatic, right? Unless you say, I want to put a specific header in here. Now, you can do that. And then here, if we look at the JDM stuff, we're looking at the set header. So in this case, it would be, now I don't have a JDM, so nothing's going to happen, but let me see, it'd be 8113 F1, right? Okay, does that look right? Oh, F2 is wrong. Okay, so what we have here is that's this, along the lines with this stuff that we see on the internet. This is a typical kind of a thing that we'll see on the internet with people trying to get this Toyota JDM to communicate with the scan tool. All right, so the first thing is set the header, and this may be, like I said, I saw 82 somebody was trying, so maybe 82. But basically, what this is we got the source is 81 is sort of the format of the command. 13 is the address of the destination, and F1 is the address of the scan tool, and that's pretty standard. F1 being the address of scan tools in these OBD. We don't really see that, but the scan tool itself actually has its own CAN address, and it's assigned at F1. Okay, so that's the header. That's this command here. All right. Now this ISO baud rate. Now the ISO baud rate is different. Now, let me get out of here. Now you see I have serial baud rate here versus ISO baud rate. Now look at these ISO baud rates. They're not standard looking baud rates. Look at this: 12, 5, 15. These are crazy baud rates. Okay, and I've put the defaults here. So that, like, if you ever get kind of like, where am I? You can sort of set the defaults. Most of the time, these won't affect anything. But if you're in this protocol, and how do you know if you're in this protocol? The easiest way is just go into the status page, and the links for this is all below. You can get Windows or the Android, whichever one works for you, and you could try either one. Okay, so go into this. Okay, here, take a little while. Okay, so now we got an error. What's going with the error? The error is probably because of that header. So let me come back here, and let me just sort of. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say, you know what, use an automatic header for now. Okay. And let me come back here. All right. Now this will tell me the fact that I expect it to connect again now. This will tell me if it connects that I had the settings at least enough correctly that it was able to get information out of the vehicle. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right, I have a simulator on my desk. Now notice the protocol is this slow. They don't call it slow, they call it 5 baud, but it's essentially the slow baud, the slow init protocol. Okay, so if you come into the get status, this get vehicle status screen, it'll just let me see. I wonder if that was, yeah, it'll come into this status screen and it should read, using automatic protocol, pick up the type of protocol that you got there, and then you can tell right away what protocol my car is operating on. Okay, this I just fixed. This wasn't working for like years, okay? So let's come back here into the setup. We're talking about the Toyota JDM. Okay, so the first thing, however order, you want to mess with the header. Excuse me, geez. Now you can see that if you mess with these settings, right? See, like right, we're back to normal, right? And all right, so let's say, right, the settings as they are right now will communicate to this simulator on this protocol. And it'll come back. Come on. And it comes back. So I come back to the setup. Right now in the setup, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mess this up. I'm going to change the ISO baud rate to 9600. Now, just real quick, the difference between the ISO baud rate and the regular serial baud rate, the serial baud rate here really only applies to wired dongles. Everything else doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect anything except wired dongles. And this baud rate is between the device and the dongle. Okay? This baud rate is between the dongle and the car. Right, so this ISO baud rate is actually on the K line, the speed of the wire in the actual car. This baud rate has nothing to do with anything happening at the car. It's really just between the computer or the Android and the dongle. Okay, very good. So now I set this to 9600, which is one of the settings for the JDM, right? So the default is 10.4, and then from what I'm seeing on the internet, on the wisdom of the internet, the JDM is actually operating at 9600. So this is one of the settings that definitely needs to be set for the JDM to work, okay? But you'll notice now on my simulator, it won't work because that ISO baud rate is not like the default standard ISO baud rate. So here I come over to the simulator, and it's going to have a problem. Now, it's not going to be able to connect, right? And this is all coming down to the fact that I changed this ISO baud rate. Okay, so your connection not being able to connect to your JDM could be any one of these settings, right? Especially if they went off and picked some specific settings that are not defaults. And these defaults, by the way, come right out of the ELM327 specs, right? So these are, if you just left it, this will, at these defaults, this will turn, this is what the ELM327 will start up as with, right? Now, this set the slow init address. Now, here's something that's interesting, and I don't really fully understand this, but there's a difference between the slow init address and the header address. Now, you notice the 13 here and the 13 here. They're both set, so you have somebody setting the slow init address. This is just stuff I found, right? So I don't even know if this works, right? So they're setting the slow init address at 13, and then they're setting the standard header device address at 13. Now, I guess that's probably correct. I don't know. I have no idea. But that 13 would be here. Okay? Because the standard ISO address is 33, not 13. So this JDM, from what I'm seeing, is using 13 here. It's using 96 here. It's using a different header here. And I've already seen with a Honda motorcycle, you mess with these headers and you can find different devices that you wouldn't find even on the defaults, by the way. Let's see, what else? So this wake up, right? A set protocol for this you don't even deal with. Like, they were doing this on purpose. Sometimes it would be A4 because that means automatic, and I don't understand that. You know, usually either set it for, in my world, you set it for automatic or you set it on a specific protocol. But automatic and protocol is something that I don't really do. But so I don't even set the protocol, right? As you can see, the device, the way I've constructed the device, is it'll determine the protocol. So as soon as it's able to, it'll go through whatever algorithms and then find the protocol for the device and then be like, oh, okay, this is the protocol here, right? Here, watch. All I'll do is I won't do anything. I just changed the protocol on the simulator, and I'm just going to hit status again. Just now, remember, this is whatever this protocol is. I changed it on the simulator. I did nothing to the software. And I'm getting status again, and so now it should come up with a different protocol because it's auto. Yeah, see, now it's on a CAN standard, like more modern CAN protocol. All right, now let me set this again. I'll put on yet another different protocol, the ISO 9141 protocol. And so you see the software is designed to sort of do this step, the set protocol. It's going to do that for you. See how the protocol is yet another different protocol. Okay, so don't worry about set protocol. All right, so then you come in here and this wake up off. Okay, that is very simply hello. That is very simply this. You're either going to check that or not check that. I don't know. I can't see any result from any of the. All I know is that I had to verify that these settings are actually sending these commands, right? So I don't have a JDM, or I don't know. There are definitely other vehicles that don't work that this sort of stuff will get working, but you have to know what you need. One of the hard things for normal people is just, how do I even do this? I have a car. I'm not really into all this electronics. So here it is. If you can get a dongle, you get your hands on this software, you should be able to at least do what all these people are doing with their serial, all the stuff that you need to do this manually. You can just do this now, nice and easy. Nice and easy, and it'll restart, it'll reset, it'll do everything. Oh, and another thing, by the way, there are no spaces. You don't need spaces anywhere. When you're doing the AT this and AT that, you don't need spaces. I never use spaces anywhere in my software or anything because it's just wasted. It's just waste. Let's see, is that it? Okay, so the whole point is that we are dealing with the Toyota JDM. It's notoriously difficult to get a scan tool that's not specific for it to connect to it. We've determined it's definitely not using a modern protocol. Well, I mean, depending how far back you go, but it's using this KWP, slow init protocol 1430. And here are your settings. Right, that I've found. If you go out and look on JDM can't connect to scan tool, you're going to find some variation of these settings, and we've addressed all of them here. Okay, is that it? Yeah, that's it, man. I'm really curious about this, and I know this is such a narrow case, but hey, what the hell, man? If you do have a JDM and this works, that would really make my day to find out that you're able to finally read your, I think if you're able to simply get to this status screen, if you can read the status, right? If it comes up and it says, let me get the right protocol here. If you come up here and you read the status and it gives you the proper information, then it's likely that you are in the ballpark, right? So let me come back here. Let's see. I can simulate DTCs on this thing too. It's a little funky. I have to keep. There's something weird with the programming in my simulator. Oh, it said no data. Let me say read. Okay, so now it's going to try to read some data. Can we do it? Come on. You can do it. You can. All right, so there it is, man. There's some weird VIN that the sim has in here, but none of this stuff was working for these protocols. So I just fixed all these protocols. Anything that was look, man, I apologize. Anything that was talking to any of these protocols, if you were now the 1850, I still have to deal with because I don't think that's working right. But these three, 9041, 14230, and 14230 fast. These three, which are a lot of cars, were not working at all on this. I know for a fact they weren't working. I had a data offset. It was bad. It would come up and say error, but now it should be working a little bit better. And I really like to see what the JDM happened. Now remember, these are not the JDM settings, right? We talked about that. This would be off. This would be 96. This would be 13, and then the header you might have to, play with that. All right. So I don't know, man. let's see what happens. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. It's always great to see you, and catch you on the rebound, mama. All right, take care.